So here we are, we've got the engine on the bench now, some spare yokes. Everything looks good with the bore. Got a little bit of speck of dust there, but we've got our gap between the piston and the cylinder bore, and it works out even, so that's a good sign. The rings fit in nicely. This isn't attached yet, of course. We're going to put the top on it, and then we're going to do the kickstart return spring and clean up that side of the engine. This barrel doesn't have a chip in it. It does have a little bit of a ding here. Somebody cleaned up, I think, at one point or another, but it's pretty clean. And my other barrel was chipped, which I got really cheap, and it was stock bore, so it ran really well. Never gave me a problem. There's a tailpiece on the bike, and we've got our 3D printed rib insulators for the frame. Hopefully you can see that. We're going to be running our wiring through this stuff. This is like the feed line for the 441 rocker box or Triumph rocker box if you're using that. And that will go through the seat here and protect the wires on the outside, right like that. And we'll tuck that in so that it's clean and it comes out down like that with the wires. So that's durable, and we won't have to worry about the wires inside that insulated casing once it's got its 3 wires to the tailpiece in it with its ground to the central area of the bike. The front, we've got just this padding on right now. We're going to use rubber on our down tubes here, because a lot of times if this touches the metal of your gas tank, Spitfire tank or whatever, it will wear through a seam of weld really quickly, and you'll have terrible leaks at this area of the bike. I'm not going to use the center mount post. We're going to use a cross strap on the bottom of the tank, and the hoses, of course, to keep it attached. Got the electrical boxes ready to be wired up. We're going to get that sorted out. We got a battery. We got a front tire to put on the mock-up. It's a Nito tire. It's a K70, I think, original to the era of the bike, a repro. We've got the front rim now painted on the inside with primer after sanding it with a wire brush and cleaning it. And then we'll do the treatment on the outside of the rim edge and polish that up and get that tire on so that we can get the front end on the bike. And the front end now is assembled and has worked out really well. The forks lined up perfectly, didn't have any problems getting them on. Pulled them up with my fork puller tool and went in easy, and then clamped them down. Can also redo the headset eventually. I think it might need to be a little bit tighter. It's a bit loose right now, but not up and down loose, just side to side. Drop the wheel or drop the forks to each stop. The speed of that, I don't like it being quick speed over that distance. I like it to be sort of a slow, gradual clunk, as it would be with a BMW or something. The weight of the wheel should pull the actual steering head to the direction you're pushing it. So this is a bit loose maybe still, but I wanted to be on the side of caution. Now we have the rear wheel here. We're going to clean up and do the sanding of the inside and then prime it, and then we'll get it on the bike, and the bike will look like a bike, and then I can get the engine put in. So I think we're at day 23 or so, or day 20 or at 19 even, because we started on the 3rd of the month. So we have a little bit of time left. We got a lot of wiring to do, but not really. It's only about 12 wires, and I've got all the equipment to do it here. I bought all the insulator and that kind of thing. So we'll see about next week if we get a spark out of the ignition timing and stuff. And it should be set all perfectly in the engine right now from when I left it, when it was running fine and starting first kick. So that's one saving grace of all of this. I'm going to use also that insulated line to go from the battery box area to the front headlight area. As you can see, it's here, coming out of the insulation here. So that will protect the wires on the spine of the bike, and it goes right there across the frame tubes and then back into the electrical box. So we're going to try to keep it clean. There's only 3 to 4 headlight wires that'll come through that. So I'll be able to hook up the headlight as well as the tachometer, and the 3D printed case worked fine. So there's the tack and the speedo mounted. We can turn this sideways so that we could have a tack and then a smaller speedo to one side or the other, whichever side we want. This slides around, but it's still insulated and it's rubber, so that should work pretty well. So there's the update. Got the seat bolts drilled too, so I re-drilled those from when I had them in the other position, so the seat sits further back a bit. So have a good day, guys, and we'll catch the 441 soon.